Structuring an argument. Academic English for all subject teachers. Hello, welcome back to your channel. I'm Zenebe Hailu from English for Africa channel, and today we're going to talk about structuring an argument. From this video, I'm going to share with you top tips for structuring an argument professionally and then deliver a successful speech in your career. So let's begin with the first step. The first step is about structuring your argument. So let's see the details that will take you to develop a stronger argument. Firstly, you need to make a plan of your speech. Whether you are arguing for or against a given statement, you need to follow the following 3 steps to make a plan for your speech. Step 1. Gathering ideas. You need to jot down every idea that popped into your head on the subject, including ideas that your opponents didn't agree with. Secondly, decide which 3 or 4 of your ideas would make the strongest argument. Second step is about sorting ideas. So you need to organize your ideas into clusters around similar pointers, because it can help to give this a heading to show which main point is being made. Then put to one side any ideas you disagree with. Thirdly, it's about building up your argument. So you need to find information and statistics to support your argument. And then you need to do a research over the opponent's viewpoint. So these are the 3 steps you need to consider. Then you come up to writing your first draft. How do you do that? Let's see then with examples and explanation. So how do you write your first draft? After some time spent in planning your ideas, you are now ready to begin writing your speech. So you need to start by putting each of the points listed in your idea plan into a topic sentence. And a topic sentence should clearly outline the idea or point that's going to be made. For instance, country people will be badly affected by a ban on hunting. This is a good way of developing a topic sentence. And then adding sentence to the topic sentence until the point was fully developed into paragraphs. Once you have done these 2 things, following these 2 steps for each point you wish to make until you have a fully developed argument. You have now written the first draft of your speech. In the next section, you will learn how to perfect and style it, making sure that it interests and engages your target audience. How do you do that? You need to add style and polish to your speech. So to do that, we came up with something that's called rhetoric. And rhetoric is the art of persuasive speaking or writing. Rhetorical devices are techniques used to make a more persuasive impression on an audience, and most speeches are carefully planned beforehand, and rhetorical device significantly helps you to improve your speech. So let's see some of the rhetorical devices used to improve your speech below, one by one. The first device is knocking down the opposition's argument to present your own. An effective technique to use an argument is to describe or explain an argument that is the opposite to yours. You then need to prove it wrong with a powerful counter-argument, and exposing the flaws in an opposing argument can strengthen your argument for sure. Let's see some words and phrases to help you with these techniques below. The following phrases that we are going to see below are they help you to introduce a point of view that you disagree with. Some people say that, many people believe that, it's often thought that, one train of thought is, some may argue that. And again, the following words and phrases allows you to express your own point of view. However, nevertheless, this may be true, but in spite of this, it's my opinion. However, on the contrary, it's my belief. This argument does not convince me because I disagree. So these are some of the ways you can do that. The next device is the rhetorical question. This is a question that the person asking the question is not expecting an answer to. Rhetorical questions are used as a way of appealing to your audience's emotion. For instance, how much longer are we expected to put up with this? Or you can say, don't elderly people deserve a decent state pension? This is how you can use rhetorical questions as a good device. The third device we are going to use is emotional language. Emotive language includes words and expressions aimed at appealing to the audience's emotion. That means it's the deliberate choice of words to elicit emotion and usually to influence. For instance, put that in the recycle bin. We haven't used any emotive language here, but the second sentence, you should recycle because it saves the planet, we have used here to influence our audience because no one is hesitating to save the planet. So this is how you can use emotive language in your speech. The last device you are going to see is sarcasm, humor, and irony. Let's see them one by one. An audience will often enjoy speech or text containing humor, a touch of sarcasm, or irony to gently mock views that are opposite to your own can be appealing. Irony and sarcasm are language devices used to express the opposite of what's meant, often by making the opposite point seem weak and insubstantial. When you see there is a slight difference between them, so irony is generally gentle and humorous. Sarcasm is often used as a way of hurting someone. It tends to be used to mock or convey contempt, and it usually takes a few sentences to fully develop a point. Let's see some examples. So such techniques are effective as long as the speaker or writer judges their effect on the audience correctly. So you need to make sure that, for instance, when someone puts on too much perfume, you may say, "Nice perfume, how long did you marinate in it?" So this is how you can mock. Now we come to the step, the fourth step. So here I'm going to give you some silly mistakes that you need to consider. So you need to avoid the following expressions in your argument. Let's see them one by one. The first expression you never use in your argument is, "It's a well-known fact." That means just because you know something doesn't necessarily make it well known. So check that you are not using this expression just to boost your opinion. Second expression you need to avoid is, "Everyone knows that." This is about hasty generalizations, so avoid generalizing. The third one is this expression, "This is nonsense." Before you adopt a dismissive, arrogant tone, think carefully about how your audience will react to it. More often than not, these comments lose an audience's sympathy. Now we come to the fifth step, and that is I'm going to give you a revision checklist. Once you have followed these 4 steps, you need to revise, and to help you that I come up with a checklist with the following checklist. So the checklist below can help you to structure your speech and use suitable language. Let's see them one by one, 8 of them. Ask these questions yourself before you start your speech. Are the pointers in my speech fully developed? Is each one introduced by a topic sentence? Secondly, are my arguments clear and rational and presented in a logical sequence? Third, are my points expressed in a way that makes an emotive impact on the reader or listener? Fourth, is my language lively and colorful enough to engage my listener or reader? Fifth, have I expressed myself grammatically and accurately? 6. Are there touches of humor, irony, or sarcasm to entertain my listener? And do this work? 7. Have I demonstrated the weaknesses in the opposing argument to strengthen my own case? Number 8. Does my speech use any rhetorical devices, and are these effective? Once you make sure all these criteria or checklists are met, now you can proceed to the next step, and that is going to be presenting your speech. This is very much important. So you have written your speech. Now it's time to think about how you deliver it. A carefully prepared speech delivered by a speaker can sway an audience and bring them around to the speaker's point of view. So here are 5 tips to help you become a better speaker. Let's see them one by one. Tip number 1. Show your audience that you are aware of them by addressing them directly. You need to do this at the beginning of your speech, as you develop your argument, and at the end of the speech. Tip number 2. Make as much eye contact with the audience as you can. Use your facial expressions as appropriate. Sometimes you might smile, other times you might look serious and firm. Tip number 3. Use a conversational tone and offer a personal touch to create a link with your audience. Try to make the listeners feel that you are addressing them individually. Tip number 4. Vary the pace of the speech and the nature of your delivery. You may speak more slowly in some parts than in others. Remember to pause for effect or use a soft or loud voice in key places. And again, use your voice in interesting ways, for example, dramatically or humorously. The last tip is about choosing a comfortable upright sitting or standing position so that you look physically relaxed. Try to keep your arms and legs as still as possible and keep your arms unfolded. So this will take us to the end of our today's lesson. Thanks for staying with me. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button and share it with your beloved ones. And you can also write your comments. Until I see you next week, see you. Bye bye.